Hello everyone, welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Shorjani Chatterjee, and joining me for the post-match show is Mohar Chaudhary and Snehashish Mukherjee. Now, this tournament has been full of ups and downs, but I think CSK are now showing a dominant display on the field. They have defeated Delhi Capitals twice in this tournament this season, and I think the way that they played today was exceptional. They were good on the field, they were good with the ball, as well as with the bat. I think Sanju Samson played a brilliant innings today. And I would go to Snehashish regarding Sanju Samson. But before that, I just wanted to let our viewers know that while he was batting out there, the broadcasters, they were talking about him. And there was this one particular shot that he hit against T. Natarajan. And it was Harsha Bhogle who went out there and said that I cannot describe this shot in words. You have to go and watch the replay. He was that good today. So Snehashish, we all know that Sanju Samson came into open. And then the wickets were falling. He was staying at one crease. The pitch was not very easy to bat on, but the way that he batted was exceptional. Your thoughts on Sanju Samson?
Yes, I think very matured knock. I think this is what you expect from an experienced player. The experience that Sanju Samson has, obviously playing IPL and playing international cricket. Maybe the numbers of matches for India will not show that, but he is in that radar. He is with that Indian team for a long, long time now. So I think the experience is there, and that you expect. And as a CSK fan, I think every CSK fan and CSK management, would have thought about that before trading Sanju Samson from Rajasthan Royals. That getting this player will help us in that scenario, and this only proving day by day. Again, in the pre-match show, I talked about that I am not worried about Sanju Samson off form. It doesn't matter if he doesn't score in 2 or 3 games in between. He will definitely make a comeback and he will win games for CSK, and he did that. It was not an easy pitch, but again, I also pointed out in the pre-match that I am not believing that DC have that spinners to attack CSK batters, and he did that. Kuldeep Yadav, what a bad game he had. I think again, but overall, I think more than fiery, more than blistering. Yes, he ended with a fantastic strike rate considering the pitch where the match was played, but the maturity that he showed, he understood the condition. He assessed that one set batter need to be there till the end to complete the chase. Otherwise, things could get a little bit tricky for them. But he assured that he remained unbeaten, and excellent support, I think, from Karthik as well. Two back-to-back games, two valuable contribution from Karthik. Karthik again could have played a little more, I think, aggressive, a little more better strike rate, but it was not needed. I think according to the game situation, he also understood the assignment and he did the job properly. So excellent win for CSK in the context of the race of the playoff. I think now CSK are looking one of the team who can come up and go for that top four place. But for DC, I think the season is slipping away from their hands. Little.
Mohor, now that Snehashish mentioned the innings played by Karthik Sharma, I think we have to talk about it as well because the way he was complimenting Sanju Samson out there was, really commendable. Considering the fact that the pitch was not very easy to bat on, when Delhi Capitals were batting, it looked like a completely different pitch. When CSK were batting, when Sanju Samson was batting, it looked like a different pitch. But however, we definitely have to talk about Karthik Sharma because, like I mentioned earlier, I think his the partnership between Sanju Samson and Karthik Sharma was crucial and the key moment. Your thoughts on that, please?
Well, I'd say that he did the same thing which he did the previous match. And again, I'll repeat the same thing. Very mature for his age. I mean, yes, he knows that he can hit those big shots. Some of those sixes that he hit, one I specifically remember of Kuldeep Yadav. There was this one particular six, and he's such a clean hitter of the ball. When you look at his big shots, you just know that he is very technically sound. But at the same time, assessing the conditions, knowing when to rotate strike, knowing who should remain on strike during this delivery, very, very mature for his age. Plus, also definitely, chipping in with those occasional boundaries once in a while. So, I mean, he is basically showing why he was so highly rated at the start of the tournament. He's getting the chance now and he's showing it in every single game. Yes, one thing is that there has been no, you know, significant partnership between the openers as of now. I mean, Ruturaj Gaikwad and Sanju Samson have not been able to build a solid partnership. But regardless, it's this one boy who is I'll call him boy because he's very young. He comes in every day, 2 consecutive days we are seeing him, and he just knows his role really well. Urvil Patel also at the same time, same role again we saw. So I think everybody, all the batters in CSK at this point, they have a proper role clarity, and so does Karthik Sharma. He knows he has to stay there. He has to sort of keep on building the partnership and keep the scoreboard ticking. And he did that really well. He did that perfectly. And I mean, obviously, some of his shots were extremely elegant and very, very clean. His wrist work and everything. I think he has a lot of promise.
Snehashish, you mentioned Kuldeep Yadav in your previous answer, and we all know that Kuldeep Yadav had a bad day, considering the fact that on the same track in the first innings, Akeal Hosein and Noor Ahmed had a they had a brilliant spell. The way they were bowling, the way they came in and took crucial wickets. Noor Ahmed with those two important wickets, Akeal Hosein with that one wicket, and most importantly, Akeal Hosein had a very controlled economy rate. I think it was under 5. So, what do you think went wrong with Kuldeep Yadav today?
I think the pace variation, I think he could have done better in that case. And again, I think he didn't assess the pitch quickly to understand what could be the perfect line and lane to bowl at. That is one thing, because the way Sanju Samson was playing Kuldeep, I think Sanju Samson was always one step ahead of Kuldeep Yadav. I think when he's bowling, all those flighted delivery, Sanju Samson ready for with his inside out shots. Then the next ball, I think Sanju Samson knew that Kuldeep Yadav is bowling, going to go for the short deliveries. He was set using his crease and going for those pull shots for six. I think in every sense, I think the CSK batters were looked a step ahead of Kuldeep Yadav, and one thing, they made sure that they didn't let Kuldeep Yadav to get settled. I think once a bowler like Kuldeep Yadav gets settled, in terms of getting those rhythm or maybe line and length, it's difficult to dispatch him. But they made sure that despite a pitch where the pitch looked a little bit sluggish, but they made sure that they are not letting someone like Kuldeep Yadav get settled that can trouble their batting. So I think kudos to the CSK batters, the way they batted. Even Karthik Sharma, I think used his. I think the footwork was very good against spinners. I think that worked well in favor of him. So overall, I think we have to give credit to, I think, CSK batters. For CSK spinners, again, I think they both were tremendously good with the ball. Pace variations, everything. Though few dismissals of DC batters, I think, were very soft dismissals. They should have or could have avoided that. But again, I think it was relentless bowling at the same line and length by the CSK spinners. I think they were very good, economical, and very disciplined, and they got the result. Compared to the DC spinners.
We're definitely talking about the spinners, and I think Snehashish gave a very good answer. But I think we have to talk about Akeal Hosein today. I mean, he got dropped, and then the way he played today. So I think there has to be a separate question based on him. But I exactly don't know what to ask because he was that good and he was that brilliant on the field. Mohor, one simple question: your thoughts on Akeal Hosein?
Yeah, I mean, see, he has shown his impact previously as well in previous games. And the best thing about Akeal Hosein is that you ask him to bowl at any point in the game and he will deliver. Be it in the power play, be it in the middle overs, be it in the death overs, he has been able to maintain that consistency. Not sure why he was dropped the previous game. Could be combination, could be something else, but it's lovely to see him coming back and just doing what he does best. I remember in the power play, Ruturaj Gaikwad, and also, I mean, good move from Ruturaj Gaikwad as well as a captain, credit where it's due. He realized that the pitch was gripping. He realized that it could help. So he brought in Akeal Hosein immediately and he fired immediately. And he also extracted a lot of turn in some of his deliveries. And I mean, he has been doing it consistently on a consistent basis. So I don't know what I should judge about his skills. He is very, very skilled. He has been, and at any point in the game, he will deliver for you. So I'm really happy for him, and I do see him performing this way in the rest of the games as well. He looks in good touch.
Snehashish, now that we're talking about the spinners a little, what I wanted to mention is that we all know that the ball was gripping and the track was in the favor of spinners. We saw the way the CSK spinners came in and dominated, but what we also have to keep in mind is the fact that Mitchell Stark and Lungi Ngidi, by the way, Lungi Ngidi just made a comeback after an injury. We all saw the way he was hit in the head while fielding, and it was really scary, but it is great to see him back on the field. But what my question is that when you're giving someone like a Mitchell Stark and a Lungi Ngidi four overs to bowl and they are going out there doing an exceptional job. Why did CSK captain Ruturaj Gaikwad not give Jamie Overton more overs? He just bowled
Yes.
one over today.
And see, I think that is why we talked about the captains of both the teams. I will also take the name of Akshay Patel also. I think both these captains have looked a bit clueless throughout the tournament. On many occasions. I think there are several decisions in the previous games also that could have been or should have been bettered. That could have helped them a little bit more. But again, today I think not bowling more overs of someone like Jamie Overton, you know, raised a question definitely. But now at the end of the day, they have won the game. I think these things will get brushed off under the carpet. But this has been a problem. That is why I mentioned in the pre-match show that maybe personally what I think that going forward, Sanju Samson can be a better skipper for CSK. Maybe in terms of leadership, in terms of experience and all. And I think and see Sanju Samson has been, a performing player more than Rituraj Gaikwad this season. So why don't you need a performing player to be your captain, right? You don't need a non-performing player to be your captain, non-consistent player to be your captain. So a consistent performing player should be your captain, should lead the side, should inspire the side, and that can help, CSK going forward. So for me, I will be very surprised if CSK doesn't change this in the upcoming season. I really see Sanju Samson as the new skipper for CSK, but with Ruturaj Gaikwad, the form has been, a little bit dicey. In two games he scores, and then again 2 games he is not scoring, and the decisions again in this game, as you mentioned. So there are one or few decisions that could have been better, and maybe it could have helped CSK more.
Definitely, definitely. And Mohor, what I wanted to ask you is that Sanju Samson definitely, had a good day with the bat today, but on the field also when he was behind the stumps, the way, he was keeping, it was also brilliant. But I think you mentioned Jamie Overton also being a key fielder. But now that we are talking about the fielding side a little, I would like to trace back to Delhi Capitals as well. We've been talking about the bowlers, we've been talking about the spinners. Aksar Patel, he was good today. He took that one wicket, and we all saw how brilliant that wicket was. It was a stump out, it was a classic left arm spin delivery. But apart from that, how would you assess Aksar Patel's bowling spell today?
Yeah, I think it was good. Nothing to, I don't want to judge his bowling spell at all. It was good. He did what was needed. Uh, but then, like I've been saying, more than Aksar Patel, a bowler, Aksar Patel, a batter, had to step up. Because obviously, and he said it at the post match presentation as well. And obviously, Hemang Badani also said it mid match that they needed a lot more runs on the scoreboard. I mean, yeah, definitely it was not an easy pitch to bat on, but at least something around 175, 180 would have been a par score on this particular pitch. So, yeah, I will not be judging the bowlers because they did, all of them, they did what was needed. They did what they could do. But in order for them to defend the total, it has to be defendable. So it had to go up to 170, 170 at least minimum. Once again, the top order failed. Once again, other than Tristan Stubbs has been very consistent. I will have to take his name. Tristan Stubbs, Samir Rizvi. Other than these two, no, Ashutosh Sharma cameoed, lower the order. But other than that, if you look at the top order, some part of the middle order, no one fired. And Aksar Patel, obviously, he's the captain. I have nothing against, I have nothing to say against his bowling. Everyone's bowling. Bowlers did good. I mean, Lungi and Giddy making a comeback. Mitchell Stark as well. Yes, probably. I don't think he took any wickets. One second. No, he went wicketless, but again, he was economical. But once again, you need more runs on the scoreboard to be able to defend this title. So more than Aksar Patel, the bowler, Aksar Patel, the batter, has to step up.
Now that Mohor mentioned that you need more more runs in the scoreboard to defend the title, what I wanted to ask Snehashish is that he has been criticizing Pratham Nisanka for a while now. I mean, in the first few matches, Pratham Nisanka was not scoring, and then Snehashish went on live and very clearly mentioned that Pratham should get dropped, and that is something that happened actually. He got dropped against RCB, then again he made a comeback, scored some runs. But today, again, it was not his day. 19 runs from 15 balls, did not look very confident. We were talking about consistency being the main key, and definitely Pathum is going wrong somewhere. So, Snehashish, your thoughts on Pathum Nisanka?
Yes, I think again another innings, he hit few boundaries, looked good. I think it was a good start, but again, one bad shot and he got out. And that has been the problem with Pratham Nisanka, and it is not his fault. I think he is not that kind of a batter. whom you want to open an innings in modern day T20s. In modern day T20s, you need explosive batters. If not the two openers, at least one opener should be like that. I think that has been a pattern right now. But if you see the two openers of DC, both KL Rahul and Pratham Nissanka is very similar kind of a batter. Both of them are not explosive options. They can score runs. In power play overs, they make you can help you scoring maybe 50 or 55 runs on a very good day, and then can end up scoring 90 or 50 or 55 balls. That has been their general. Yes, KL has been phenomenal this season. There is no doubt about that in terms of strike rate, average, everything. But that has been the nature of his game. That has been nature of Pratham Nissanka's game. And in one season, suddenly, for the need of a particular team, you cannot ask a player to change that game suddenly out of nowhere. That cannot happen. In 5, 6 games, that cannot happen suddenly. I think they are trying their best. Few shots that Pratham Nissanka has been playing in power play. I do not expect someone like Pratham Nissanka to go those laps and everything, but I think he's trying his best. I think that communication is there that we need as a unit. Maybe DC management has said that as a unit we need those quick starts from you. He's trying his best, but it is not his game. I think that is why I am saying that maybe they should go for another explosive options in the form of like Prithvi Shaw, or maybe try out, Abhishek Patel. Say Abhishek Patel, just go out there, enjoy and play your shots. Doesn't matter you got out on 0 or 10 or maybe or 50, 15 ball 50. Just go out there, play your shots. I think the role should be clear, and there are options. I think they should try those. Even why not you send someone like Nitish Rana to open? I would love to see that Nitish Rana to open along with KL Rahul. Nitish Rana has did that job, and he has those different kind of shots. He has many shots in his book, and he scored those. He can score those important runs in the power play. I think in KKR days he has scored many runs. During power play, overs, he did that. So I think that can be another option, but you cannot expect something explosive from batters like KL Rahul or Pratham Nissanka. Like they can give us 90 for 0, just the way someone like Vaibhav Suryavanshi Jaswal just do for RR, or maybe a Prabh Simran Singh or Priyan Shetty do for PVKs. That cannot happen with this opening pair of DC. Sorry, but this is true.
I'll just like to add to this that Delhi Capitals and opening pairs have always been a problem. In
Yeah.
the previous year as well, they were very confused. I think it's the lack of proper planning. At one point of time, I remember Jake Fraser McGurk was opening. Then they did not like that. Then he was dropped. Then Faf du Plessis came in. Then once again that did not work. Then KL Rahul came up the order. There was a proper confusion even in the previous year, and even in this year they have not been able to find a solution to that. So there has to be a fixed and proper opening pair for a team to do well. That's what I believe in.
Fitmonk here says every year DC comes up with only one motive. That is, let's disappoint our fans, but in a different way. Mohor definitely spoke about the batting order there. But what I wanted to ask Mohor is that we know that the middle order failed today, the top order collapsed. But I think Samir Rizvi, he has been that one player who's been constantly stepping up, because in the first few matches as well, we saw he was the one who scored runs, and he led Delhi Capitals to some crucial wins. So I think that innings of 40 runs was very important from Samir Rizvi today. Mohor, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I remember towards the beginning of the tournament, I don't remember which game it was, but once again, it was Samir Rizvi and Tristan Stubbs stepping up and taking their team to victory. I don't remember which team it was, but anyway, so Samir Rizvi. Again, once again, he knows his role. And obviously, the fact is that he is a good player of spin. So he was sent in, he goes in when needed. And his knock was obviously very, very important alongside Tristan Stubbs, because otherwise, I don't think they would have even been able to reach 130, 135. The situation looked that bad. And because of the collapse, Hemang Badani said that because of the collapse, they had to send him in as the impact player, which is why they could not go for another spinner during bowling. They could have gone for a Vipraj Nigam, but that didn't happen because obviously the collapse, you need a batter out there. But he did go. He played a crucial knock and he did what was needed. But yeah, once again, the top order is a concern. I am not talking about Tristan Stubbs or David Miller or whoever. Samir Rizvi has also done pretty well for the team, especially in times of need. But the top order has been inconsistent, is what I'll say.
Definitely. Over here, Snehashish, this comment is for you. Fly boys for 4 hour people. They are saying Justin Langer and Hemang Badani are some fabric confused coaches. Do you feel that they are confused coaches?
Yes, Justin Langer is definitely. I think the way LAC management doing their job, I think there is no doubt that they are looking very confused as of now. I think the points table showing that thing loudly, very clearly. But for Hemang Badani, see, I think they have a very good squad. There is no doubt about that. That they have more quality players than LAC side, I will say, and they can form a balanced side. There is no doubt about that. But again, the main problem is using proper player at proper positions. As I mentioned, the opening player, you are not, you really want an explosive option at the top. You have to maximize those 6 overs, otherwise it will be difficult. Yes, you have chased down 200 plus targets and everything, but in 1 or 2 games that can happen. To have that success for a long time, you need those explosive options at the top, but you are not getting. And the middle order also, as a batter, Akshay Patel is not clicking. I think Nitish Rana scored in 3 4 games, but again, he is not chipping in suddenly in the last few games. And this Ashutosh also, I think Ashutosh is also not looking that Ashutosh when he came into the scenario, right? Today he played that knock. Okay, those important, those were important runs. That cameo was important. That is why DC got past to 150 run mark. There is no doubt about that. But has he become that consistent in this season? Absolutely no. He got more opportunities earlier also to finish game for DC. He couldn't. I think Crystal Stubbs, one batter that he did well, whatever opportunities he has managed. Samir Rizvi has been pretty impressive, I would say. I didn't expect that from Samir Rizvi to be that much impressive, but yes, I think he has done superbly well. I think earlier also he played 2 brilliant knocks, and today also it was very much needed according to the situation. Understood, despite the collapse, he tried his best, took his team from the trouble, took his team out of the trouble, and then helped the team to go 150 plus. So I think that was a good knock also. But as a unit, they are not clicking. The bowling, the spinners are not doing their job. Akshay Patel today did the job, but overall he has not
Yeah,
clicked
yeah,
as a bowler also, right?
Definitely.
Kuldeep Yadav.
yeah.
Kuldeep Yadav has also struggled with the ball, and it is very surprising. When a bowler like Kuldeep Yadav struggles for your team, those 4 overs can be game changing for you. Opposition always keep an eye. Okay, we have to face those 4 overs for Kuldeep Yadav, especially in this kind of track. You need someone like Kuldeep Yadav to be in his top form, but he is not getting that rhythm. He is not in that confidence, as of now. So I think a lot of things not going in the right direction for DC, and that is why maybe they're lacking. But if you, as you mentioned, Langer and Hemang Badani, I think more than Langer, I think DC have a better team, and Hemang Badani can do a better job with this squad, but maybe one or few changes here and there that can help DC going forward. Otherwise, the season can be very long one.
To sum up Mohar's and Snehashish's thoughts, I think Fitmonk has already commented. Batting collapse in power play is like bread and butter for DC. We all agree.
Yeah.
There
But
is an
I have a
interesting point.
question. Why wasn't David Miller playing today?
Maybe if it is an
I didn't
injury,
get
then
an
it's
injury
fine.
update or something. I didn't read anything like that.
Yes. If there is an
Where is
injury,
David
then it's
Miller?
fine. If there is not an injury, then again that question that why you are making a change, why you are not playing someone like
And
David
not
Miller.
including someone like a David Miller.
Yeah,
That is the main
proven.
concern. They're not.
He is
Yeah,
a proper
proven
match
position.
winner.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Mohor, you've been talking a lot about Shivam Dubey, and I ask you a lot about him, and you defend him as a player. So over here, what I'm going to say is, will it be okay to trade Dubey with Pandya? Your thoughts?
That
Oh
is
my
not
God.
happening. That is
Hardik
not
Pandya.
happening. What is
Hardik Pandya in
Saravan,
CSK. Oh my God.
Saravan and Krishna? I'm so sorry, but that is not happening. That is not going to happen. Both are big match players. Both their teams will be backing them, and we have not anything anything like that as of now, and that is not happening. That is not possible. Pandya is the captain.
Snehashish, Sarvanan Krishna once again asks, do you guys think that this score to be chased within 15 overs because CSK has not chased 180 plus scores since 2018? Do you think this score was chaseable in 15 overs?
No, I don't think. I don't think the pitch was that easy to bat on. I think Sanju Samson did, as I mentioned, that Sanju Samson understood that, and he ensured that he is there till the end. And it is good that I think for Karthik Sharma that he got that support from Sanju Samson as well. I think in this kind of situation he needed someone like Sanju Samson, the experience. Where a experienced guy can tell you that okay, Just be there, play along with me, and we can do the job for the team. And they did that. I think it was a very mature knock from Sanju Samson. Initially, if you see till a certain point, the strike rate was not that good. I think that was not needed at that stage. At that stage, was needed that Sanju Samson is not leaving. He's not gifting his wicket, and he did that. And after that, he accelerated, and initially, and eventually finished with a very good strike rate. I think it was a very good strike rate at which he finished, considering the pitch conditions. But again, as I mentioned, it was a very matured knock. He understood, and he knew that he needs to be there till the end to finish the job for the team. Doesn't matter. I think in the context of the playoff, I think the 2 points were more needed for CSK rather than the net run rate boost. I think here, if you really wanted to chase the target down under maybe 15 overs, you could have been in trouble. You could have lost the game, and then the approach would have been problematic. The fans would have come and raised question about the approach, that why they didn't go for the win rather than going for the net run rate. So I think they did the right thing. It was not an easy track to bat on. They did the right thing, and ensured that 2 points, another 2 points in their bank, and it's a very very huge win, very huge win for them in the context of the playoff, because as I mentioned that now they are one step ahead to that playoff race. Though still long way to go, but still they are in that position that they can sneak in for that top sport spot.
Also,
Um,
Forjani, I would like to add a little bit of something about Ruturaj Gaikwad since we're talking about
go ahead.
CSK batting.
Go ahead. Go
He
ahead.
did play some good knocks in the previous two games, and we said that he was back in form. But I would like to see Ruturaj Gaikwad's approach in a high scoring game. Both the games, they were chasing. I mean, either chasing or there was, I think it was against Gujarat Titans where there was a batting collapse and he had to anchor. But I would like to see an innings where he's coming out to bat and they have to score a big total, post a big total, or they have to chase a big total. I would like to see his approach then, how he goes about. Because with the kind of strike rate and with the kind of approach that he played the last two games, I don't think that will be applicable for a big match situation. So I would like to see how he does that. Consistency is something else, but I'd like to see his gameplay there.
Definitely, definitely. That's the same approach we would like to see for Ankush Raghuvanshi and Ajinkya Rane, who are playing for KKR as
Absolutely,
well.
for KKR. Absolutely.
Circling back to KKR. Um,
No, you're right.
but over here, fly boys for people is once again saying Prithvi Shaw can be explosive opener for DC. Rizvi can be a finisher. Rana should play at number 3. I think we were discussing about it as well. But Mohor, what I wanted to ask you is that, through so many bowlers bowled for CSK today, you had someone like an Akeal Hosein, Mukesh Chaudhary, Noor Ahmed, Gurjapneet Singh, Jamie Overton, and I think Gurjapneet Singh did a good job, considering the fact that he made a comeback. But Anshul Kamboj, he was expensive today, and he did not look very confident. He was, hit all over the park. So, your thoughts on Anshul Kamboj's bowling spell today?
Yeah, see, he has been pretty good this season. He's among those top wicket takers. So you are allowed to have one bad day. But apart from that, I think he was very predictable with his deliveries tonight. Those outside off stump deliveries or those wideish Yorkers, those to the right hand batters. That's all that he kept bowling. There were no variations in his, the kind of ball that he was delivering. It was always the same. So I think the batters read him very well. They knew that he would be bowling those, and he kept bowling those to the right-handed batters. So that's where I think the problem lies. But other than that, I am pretty sure he'll work on it once again because he has proven himself this time. Of course, he's allowed to have one bad game. He's still rising. He's not as experienced as the rest. So I'm hoping for a turnaround in the next one. But today's it was the lack of variations.
Definitely. And over here, Ojaswa Pandey 4328.
Ojaswa Pandey.
I'm just sorry if I mispronounced your name. But they are saying that in the context of playoffs, CSK and DC are not going. LSG is going. Snehashish. I mean, he's kind of. I'm just glad he did not write KKR. I'm just glad he did not write KKR. But Snehashish, do you think CSK or DC, they have a chance of going? DC, so definitely right now, I don't think they have a chance. But your thoughts on CSK qualifying in the playoffs?
CSK are in a good position. As I mentioned, this is a very good win for them in the context of the playoffs. I think they can sneak in the position, but again, every game they should come out. I think they should also show some consistency. I think consistency has been a problem for CSK this season. I think they have won one game or two games, then again one or two losses, then again another win, then another losses. I think that has been the problem. They have failed to gain that momentum. I think they would love to get that. And if they somehow manage to get that momentum at this stage of the tournament, I think then you have to say that they are picking at the right time. So let's see how they do. I think now with this win, they would love to get a momentum, at least another 2-3 continuous win. I think that will set their place at the top four. But for that, they need to play a good brand of cricket. Again, everyone should chip in. You cannot depend on not one on one or two players. Not every day Sanju Samson will come in and play. Every day cannot someone score this kind of runs. Every day Karthik Sharma will not play in this manner. Every day will not happen. Every day Akeal Hosein or Noor Ahmed will not do the job for you. See, today only Anshul Kamboj had a off day. It can happen. It happens with the best only. So it can happen. So everyone needs to chip in every other game. Every other players need to come up and do the job for the team, and that is how a champion team will. And CSK has done it, and that is why they are the one of the most successful team in this tournament. So let's see whether they can make whether they can get that momentum going or not. Otherwise, it will be difficult for them. But the rest of the two teams that you have mentioned, I don't see them making the playoffs. I think DC. I think for DC, I think it's not clicking. As a unit, they are not clicking. It is very difficult, going to be very difficult for them. I will be very surprised if they end up in the top sports spot. But for LSG, there is no hope. Frankly speaking, there is no hope for LSG.
Last two comments before we end the show. It looks sorry. Okay. Web Webhav Taragi. Once again, I'm very sorry if I mispronounced your name. But he's saying that, dear Karun, cricket is giving you so many chances. Please perform, bro. More now that you have already defended someone like a Shivam Dubey. Do you want to go out there and defend Karun Nair, or do you just want to let it go? Do you just want me to remove the comment, or do you want to go out there and defend Karun Nair?
Thank you for choosing this comment for me. Okay, Shivam Dubey, Karun Nair, I don't want to compare them, please. But yeah, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the tweet. And every time he fails to perform, that tweet somehow resurfaces, and once again it's back. But yeah, of course he needs to perform whenever he's gotten chances. Even not just IPL, I'm also thinking about the in England India Test series. Even there, he was pretty underwhelming. So if he, I mean, obviously you do well, you have the potential. I'm not saying he doesn't have the potential, he does, but he needs to convert. He needs to make it count. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it's your performance that people are going to look at. It's not your potential that they will see. So you have to perform. Otherwise, if he gets dropped in the next game, I will not be surprised. So that's all. And also, I was really trying to find out what is wrong with David Miller, if he's injured, if he's gone back home. But that's not the case. It's just a tactical decision to balance the overseas player quota. And you drop David Miller. I have a huge
Wrong,
problem with that.
wrong
Okay,
Anyway.
also
tactic.
now that you're mentioning the word drop, my mind straight away traces to those catches that Karuna dropped against Punjab
Oh
team.
my God.
The reason why,
But I think Shashank Singh also dropped a lot of catches in the very same game. So it
yeah,
Yeah.
so
sort of
there have
balanced
been a
it.
lot of dropped catches this season.
Yeah.
But Fitmonk says, as a CSK fan, good night everyone. Samson, please play like this till we win the finals. I hope that is the
Oh,
case.
yeah.
So anyway, we'll take your leave today. It was
Yeah.
a brilliant match that we saw, but again, we'll be back tomorrow for the pre and post lives. Please keep on following Rev Sports, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, Mohar and Sriyashish.
Thank you.